All right, good morning, good evening, good night. NFT Live, sitting here with some great co-hosts today. We're going to get after it, talking NFTs and Web3. Happy to be here with y'all. We are inching closer to this BlackRock situation, this BlackRock approval to which me and Gifted one of us will get a BeowFam NFT. But I'm sitting here with Biggie Poppins. I'm sitting here with Gifted, Mr. Live Mint himself. Good to see both of y'all. What's up, Biggie?
Dude, I saw that. Congrats, GIF, man. I was so jealous. Like one of the few people that was probably not a bot that got to fucking mint that piece. I'm kidding. But I do think there were at least half of them must have been bots. I'm just jelly I wasn't able to partake, but really nice piece. I'm so stoked. I did get to mint today Ed Balloon's piece on Prohibition, which I'm very happy about. And yeah, man, I don't know. The winds of change seem to be upon us, gents. I'm feeling really good.
Ooh,
I've been
feeling
partaking
bullish?
a little more. My wallet's been a little more active as of late. It's been really nice. Oh, and by the way,
what's up? Oh, that's what it is.
You could tell. I was
There
waiting
was some
to see if
difference.
he said something. There was something about it.
Sound great. Look great.
Yeah.
Sound great. Feeling great.
Yeah, I went ahead and splurged a little bit, got a little bit of like lights and stuff on, so it's fun. I feel professional today.
Well, you look good, as Gifted was saying. So we're gonna get started here in just a moment. But yes, Biggie Poppins is the new and updated version here, and I'm definitely excited to talk about that activity, that wallet activity, dude. I'm feeling a little bit of that myself. Gif, what's going on, man? Congrats again. We're talking Prohibition.Art. If you don't know what we're referencing, GIF was one of the few people to get one of the Project Zero mints there.
Yeah, there's only 100 in this very limited edition by Emily Edelman Project Zero drop on Prohibition.Art yesterday. So that's what Biggie's referring to. I can try and pull it up here in a moment, but special drop. I've never been in on a Project Zero mint, for a new platform like that. I'd never been on Arbitrum, never collected any of Emily's work. So a bunch of firsts that were all facilitated by Mr. Jordan Weil, of course, who graced our stage yesterday on the launch day of Prohibition.Art. And so it's just exciting. It's exciting, to be in on that first mint and to get one. It literally sold out in a second. So I was sitting there smashing refresh on the browser, literally just like refresh. And as soon as it came up, I hit it and I was able to get token number 48. So very, very excited. And yeah, I'll see if I can pull that up. Actually, we should pull up the Prohibition website. So I'll pull up Prohibition.
That Buena Vida one is beautiful as well, by the way.
Oh, the Epiphanies. I did mint an Epiphanies yesterday also. Those are cool because, again, you can click on the generator link and open that up. Yeah, and show that because you can actually see, they're responsive. They're responsive. So like if you change the scale of it or the size of the browser, it responds. Scale shift the browser. It should respond in different ways. But anyway, because it'll be square display on some, or if you open it on mobile, it'll format to mobile. But so yeah, it's just a really, really awesome project, and it's cool to see her continuing to evolve, her themes, her styles in different ways. So that's Epiphanies, which is still minting for a few more days. And then that's my monospatial. I was so excited. I was tweeting about it before it even revealed, but then I added it in there. So that's token number 48. And so it's built off of a handcrafted monospace font, which I was listening to her talk about it. She was educating around monospace is where all of the letters in the typeface in the font are formatted within the same area, the same width, so there's no awkward spaces or anything. But then she plays with that in like unique different algorithmic ways to generate art out of it.
All right, so there's like the visual aesthetic aspect of this. I think again it looks great. I would definitely hang it up in my household or in my virtual platform here as well. So I'm going to be stealing that from Gifted momentarily. But there's also the aspect that it went 10x post mint. It went
A
immediately.
few,
A few. It
sold.
didn't
Yeah,
stay there.
it's sitting around 5 or 6x, I think, right now, but it's big, right? Just for a new platform to be successfully launching. And there's a bunch of new, there's like the first 10 or 11 curated projects that are all going up right now on Prohibition.Art. But there's also, because it's an open platform, there's also people dropping already some really cool generative art over there as well.
So Biggie, if you got your link here, I'd love to pull up the Ed Balloon piece if you do have that revealed already.
Yeah, let me see if it's even revealed. But it's an one. I know it is because it's Ed Balloon. Justin Murray, by the way.
Justin, not bullish on anything other than Solana here, but yeah, it's
I
like what Solana's doing too. I mean, we've been talking.
Hey,
about
did you guys see the latest announcement that they're what is it? I think it's Long or something, where to bring in Solidity developers and programmers that you'll be able to program smart contracts on Solana, but using Solidity. Very, very cool. I think it's cool. Yeah, still not revealed, brother. Let me
All
see
right, still send me the link. I can see that. Yeah, Justin's gonna obviously put up his dukes for Solana here, and we're big fans of Solana as well. Maybe we can jump into that Solang announcement. Hopefully, we're saying that right. Arbitrum, though, like in literally the past 48 hours with the Prohibition stuff, and then if y'all were here yesterday, listen, we don't get calls right all the time here on the channel, but the call we did make was that Bricks and Moons were gonna do okay. I think obviously we were saying volatile, but specifically Brick.
Solid calls.
So this was the Fortnite token within the Reddit, like announcement that they were allowing free trade, up 77% since yesterday. So good luck to those of you that are participating in the shitcoin casino. But those of you that bought this on the show yesterday, again, 24 hours from this time, we were making that call, set up 77%, sitting at now a $7 million market cap. It was around a $4 million market cap when we made the call. Look, this isn't financial advice. We're not financial advisors. I'll run the damn ticker for you. But this was an interesting one to call. Arbitrum's kind of a sequestered chain right now relative to Ethereum and some of the larger chains. There's a lot of alpha there to be found on these new projects, man. So congrats if you followed that call. Moons is up only 35% since that call. So it is what it is.
Yeah, I thought about trying to hit these. I'm like, my gambling is taking I'm slower on my gambling right now for various reasons. Liquidity is thin, as Q would say.
Mr. Live Minutes taking a break. All right, I get it.
I was still minting yesterday. It's just like, yeah, doing the shitcoin altcoin casinos, man. It's rough. Need BTC and ETH to pump.
All right, Biggie, what do we got here?
Number 11. Hell yeah, man. I was quick on the draw this time around. This is Ed Balloon's first generative piece, I believe. So I'm very proud and happy to own this. If you know the artist, I think he's immensely talented. And again, just one of those great community members, people that you want building in this space. So happy to support both, the platform and himself. It was really, really cool.
Now with Project Zero, Biggie, there was 100 supply. So very limited. Was this the same type of supply, or was it more?
I think it's a little more. Public? It's like 400 or 300 and some. I wonder. I mean, can you check if there's any available even then?
I mean, to be fair, the platform launched yesterday, so I'm still feeling my way around it. But it shows a floor price ticker here at 0.09. Buying. Was that what you paid?
No, I might have been 0.8. I'm not sure, honestly. I was just too excited to get on it and not miss out like yesterday. But I will be hunting for that piece as well. I'm trying to, with these types of platforms, sometimes it's not that it's a must, but I do like to have the first Genesis pieces sometimes, and as we've seen with other platforms, sometimes they come with particular perks. So I don't know. No guarantees. There's not some my financial advice. It's just I do like the initial piece. It sucks that I missed it last time, and I do want to see if I can get up to at least like the first 5 from this collection, because there's just too much stuff. I literally have 2 other things going on right now. The Matthias Isaacson on Art Blocks that just launched right like about a couple of minutes ago, and then you have Bubble on Wild.xyz, which is also really cool, which is all like using sentiment analysis and social media and stuff. It's just really cool.
So
So
Biggie's
yeah,
back
it's
in the game. That's what
yeah,
I'm hearing.
man. It's like, damn it, I had to come in. I blame Tubins on this. I don't know if you guys saw that on your scroll during the weekend. Proof Moonbirds had like a really cool little game, which to me is like, I don't know, call me a weirdo. It is one of those things that makes me super bullish on the space, and I enjoy a lot. It's a project that's based off of the Worm, which is like you know, I don't know if you're familiar with that one, right? It's like a game of hot potato, right? It's just that instead of the Worm, here we're using like a mascot that's going to show up in Mythics called Tubins. And so basically we've been playing hot potato, and everybody's trying to get a hold of Tubins. And it's really cool to see how just people chasing this particular like soul-bound token, because when Tubins visits your wallet, he leaves a soul-bound token, much like the Worm did. But this kind of like story just starts developing organically on itself, right? People start like making up different like songs and artwork, and you know, imbuing this character with all this personality and like lore that's developing in real time as people are passing it along. And it's fun. And I love the fact that it's a soul-bound token. You'll never be able to sell it. There's no financial upside whatsoever. It's just social fun using Web3 tech. And I mean, yeah, who knows? Maybe down the line, like it'll get you some free drinks. Or I think there is a drink actually being developed, by the way. So
Biggie's a big
Tubin's
collector. If you're
cocktail.
an NFT project out there, Biggie is a big collector if your utility is a future beverage.
Yeah, definitely, especially if it's a beverage, for sure.
All right, guys, we're just getting started here. I see Justin Murray laying out the benefits of Solana over Arbitrum. That's definitely going to be a piece of the convo today. Biggie, I am also interested in how long you've been on Arbitrum, because I'm looking to bridge over there. I have not even bridged a single asset to that chain. Obviously, I wish I got some of those.
So I got involved in Arbitrum, I want to say about a year or maybe a little more ago. Like when it originally launched, I forget the name of the exchange, like one of the first apps, and they were doing airdrops, and so I was chasing the airdrops and doing some mining, and that was like the first time that I got involved with Arbitrum. And I think like I bought like maybe a couple of NFTs, utility NFTs. We'll see how that pans out. But other than that, like I mean, I like I said, like with these types of projects or tokens, I always like to like, I don't want to talk out of my ass and just, you know, I want to go over there and try it out and sample it and see if I like it, if what else is going on. But other than that, I hadn't touched it until Prohibition, and I'm really stoked about Prohibition and a couple of other projects also on Polygon. Like it seems like the L2s are really starting to, you know, like the projects on L2s are really starting to make their presence known. And I like that. I like that people are finally bridging over there and experimenting and trying it out, because that's the only way we're going to get people to, you know, stop paying these ridiculous fees on Ethereum, is by actually having stuff to go bridge over to, right? Like the first time you were asking me that I bridged over was like a year and a half ago. There was just one exchange, and all you could do is like provide liquidity and like maybe mine some tokens that are probably
DeFi.
worthless now. I much prefer the NFT route, right? Like with Prohibition. And then the other one that I'm really psyched on in Polygon is Pluto. I don't know if you guys checked that out as well. It's backed by like the Polygon founders, and, you know, kind of a metaverse play, not financial advice, but it's a vibe. It's looking good.
So Biggie, if we can definitely pull these up later in the episode, definitely drop them in the private chat, and I can pull them up. But guys, we're just getting started here on this Wednesday episode of NFT Live. Arbitrum competing with Solana and Matic. Of course, to Justin, I don't think Solana is going to be able to, I guess, have Arbitrum compete with it. But Matic as well. Obviously, Polygon's making a big move to zero knowledge here in a second, upgrading to Polygon 2.0 and all those pieces. So to Biggie's point, there's things happening with these side chains or layer twos that we can definitely cover. I'm going to drop this in chat. We want to get as many people in here as possible. So if you guys could hit that NFT Live link and give it a like or a reply on that, definitely helps get it out on Elon's app. And if you're here on YouTube, if you're on Twitch, if you're on Twitter already, we appreciate you guys so much for stopping by each day. We know you got things to do in your life and you want to spend an hour or two with us. We appreciate it very much. So thank you guys for being here. All right, that is going to be the topics for today. It's kind of a slow news day, so we're going to be kind of hopping to and from some different topics. But GIF just got off hosting GM Web3. GIF, any takes that you got from there? It was all, honestly, that episode felt like it was all over the place with the topics we were covering. A lot of really great combos happening. But what was your take on GM Web3 this morning?
Yeah, it was a little bit all over the place, trying to hit whatever we could. I don't know. I'm really fascinated by the moves that Reddit is making, so I enjoyed getting into that a little bit further. Maybe we'll talk more about that. Nobody thought it was interesting at all that the UK might be regulating crypto memes. I thought that was
what does that mean?
I thought that was pretty interesting.
What does that mean?
It's such a big part of the culture, right? Is memes, and if those are now like illegal, if you could spend 2 years in prison because you improperly use a crypto meme, like I don't know, that seems pretty heinous. Like that would have a big impact on the culture. But yeah, nobody wanted to talk about that. Basically, the idea there is that they're saying that memes constitute promotions, and that's it. So they want to tamp down on people using memes as freely as they do.
Good fucking luck.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. We talked briefly about Fluff World raising 54 mil. That's a headline that we hit, which is a big deal because, as most people know, VC funding in the space is down like 80% from last year. It's way down. So the fact that Fluff World and Futureverse were able to still raise 54 million in this environment for an AI-driven metaverse, play. It's very gaming focused.
Partnership with Ripple too. So
XRP,
really...
involved. So that was interesting. Yeah, I don't
Virtual
know.
Worlds aren't dead. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, apparently not. But I think the other thing that caught a big part of our conversation today was the monetization of social media platforms seems to be moving forward with a lot of development. Obviously, Twitter being a big part of that. So yeah, that's an interesting combo. If we wanted to dig in more, probably should know what's going on there.
So the way it was brought up on GM Web3 was through an NFT God tweet talking about Twitter monetization. And that was like the idea that, they're going to be paying folks. Some people have shown screenshots already that they're getting paid thousands of dollars. Biggie, does this stuff interest you at all? Like the social media?
Yeah, man. I'm a fan of NFT God, and I'm part of his Discord. Like early, I forget what fucking Discord role I have, but whatever. I think when it comes to social media, at least, it's unquestionable that he's got some insights. He knows how to work that algorithm very well. And, I don't always 100% agree with everything or all of his takes, but in this particular one, I find his thesis interesting, right? Like, and it's not far-fetched in my opinion, given how Elon has always teased, his thoughts on like memes and on Dogecoin, and how he's even played around the minute he took over Twitter, right? Like we can remember a couple of months ago, he switched the logo. So it's like this. So there's a couple of companies that are working the angle of like micro tipping, that's what they're calling it sometimes. Again, it's similar to what we're conceptualizing now with Reddit and Moon and Brick Token, right? And I'm all for it. I don't know how to view them. I don't have a solid take on them just yet as to, like, are they tokens or are they actual currency? But I can see them having value within their ecosystems and the communities that they embed themselves in. And so what's wrong with that? In my opinion, it's like there's nothing wrong with it. Like if you are an active Redditor or an active Twitter thread or whatever, and you're dedicating your time, I mean, you're doing it for nothing right now, for likes and upvotes. The idea of it being imbued with a token that adds value, potential value, right, to that community or ecosystem, functionality, what have you, how that's implemented is yet to be seen. But I don't think it's a far fetch to imagine that happening down the line. And I'm all for it, right? If it fails, so be it. But why not try it? Like, what's wrong with trying it? And seeing where it goes. And I'm cool with it.
So I want to make a quick analogy here. On the last day of Heavy Metal, I want to say that the game mechanics that they set up had an effect that I don't think they meant to do, but I don't really understand how they couldn't have foreseen it. But clearly Heavy Metal has gone a certain type of way where there's like vote farming, things that aren't conducive to a great experience. And I think you can do the same thing with Twitter here, and you will see it. This idea,
but it's being done for likes now and follows, right? Like, right? I mean, they are.
Yeah,
there is engagement farming, and there is like botting for followers and fake followers and everything. Like, people are like, the idea that communities are gonna try to game the system, whether it's digital or not, like that just exists. It's a matter of fact. Like, okay, like the fact that that you're gonna get it right on the first go is also like, I mean, presumptuous, right? But my issue here is with the NIMBYs, right? That immediately think like somebody kicked their puppy, right?
Yes.
Like, what the fuck? Like, who cares? Like, what happened? Like, what happened to you? What got taken from you? Nothing. It's okay to have your opinion, and if you don't want to partake or engage, that's cool too. But for the doers or the people that like to experiment, fuck it, let them.
What's a NIMBY?
See what happens. Something not in my backyard. It's a real estate term. So it's always like, when a piece of land is, somewhat developed, eventually somebody comes along and buys something and says, I want to build something here. And they mean, not in my backyard. You're not going to do it. You're not going to build a wall. You're not going to do this. And you have to go through all this bullshit to do it. That's a separate part of my life that I sometimes have to deal with. But this, it's just seems like the same thing, and it costs you nothing. It takes nothing away from you. Like, it floods your timeline with fucking spam and shit. It already is flooded with spam and bullshit. Yeah. What do you care? Like I think like the attempt, the approach is better than doing nothing, right? Like, that's my issue here with people that like immediately react negatively towards these things. It's like, can you give it a minute? Can you let it fail a couple of times before trying to stomp it out and call it a failure and postulate on like all that's wrong about it? It's like, just breathe, go touch some grass, do whatever,
real quick. Squashman is talking about seize the memes. I want to hit the chat real quick. Seize the memes in relation to that story earlier, GIF. So if we do want to bring that up, maybe we do want to talk about seize the memes. And then Justin Murray saying NFT God's a joke, along with 99% of the crypto influencers. Follow the devs, not the loud people, in my humble opinion. GIF, what do you got?
Great points. I do think the seize the memes of production is maybe relevant, maybe more relevant now, right? If they're literally trying to take away our ability to meme how we want, that form of free speech, which is so crucial to the culture of Web3 and crypto. yeah, that project and that whole saying of seize the memes might really take off to a whole new level. I think that's interesting. If there's like a bigger battle that's going to come out there. The NIMBY thing I think is interesting because I'm on your side, Biggie. I think people are so reactive and they engagement farm around outrage, and it's absolutely annoying. Like when any little new change or update that happens, you're going to get a million different people that just are screaming about it to get attention and like make it into like something it's not. And it's just annoying. That's what happened with heavy metal. The first day of heavy metal, everybody was just shitting on it. Like, here's what they did wrong, what they did right. And I'm like, bruh, like you got to at least play it for a couple weeks, get through a season and like a cycle of seasons or something before you start to just tear down what they're doing here. So anyway, yeah, the NIMBYs, I like that. Fuck the NIMBYs.
Yeah.
They annoy me.
Back into that analogy, the point I was kind of roundabout trying to get to was, I think they might be incentivizing the wrong thing, Biggie. Like that's my only point here. Is like I don't like try to make it like the content better, not this whole like, oh, I gotta really quickly reply to this big account so that I can get impressions, so that I get all this. It's like what are we doing? You know, it's the same thing. I'm sitting here playing heavy metal. Like that you set up these mechanics in the wrong way. I get it.
I'll tell you what I think we're doing. What my take here when it comes to especially like content producers and social media is that Web2 platforms, as we know, have monetized. We are the product. We are the ones that go out there and produce the threads and whatever you want to call them. You know, some is good, some is bad. You know, whether you're farming for likes or whatever it is, everybody's out there, but we are the product of these people. And I think what Web3 is attempting to do is to turn the tables, to even the scales. And I think one of the holy grails there is, man, and I hate using to empower, to remunerate these people that go out, that spend so much time there, and maybe take a little bit of that control back and maybe that profit back to the creator, give that to the creators, right? And yeah, I agree. It's not easy to do. And a lot of the times when you come up with something and implement it, you find out that somebody finds a hole in the fucking plan and they didn't think about everything through thoroughly, and they come in and punch holes through it. And I think that's why I like open source so much, right? Like, because it just keeps getting more robust the more use it gets, right? And that's my approach when I see these things, right? It's like I'm not expecting them to hit a home run immediately. And I agree, like maybe down the line we do find out that they're going to have to curb this enthusiasm that we have right now, right? For these tokens and social media and whatnot. But I prefer it to just sitting on my hands and doing fucking nothing, which is apparently the alternative that the NIMBYs always have, which is like, and then what? It's not like it's great now, right? And so I don't have the fucking solutions for you. I'm just glad that there's people attempting to find a solution for it, and and I am confident that the more we hit these walls and the more we find these potholes, just like open source programming, we will be able to find that solution, and we'll be able to implement an effective way of rewarding people and taking back some control from these platforms. I just prefer that world and that approach much more than the alternative.
Yeah, Justin Murray saying huge gamers have streaming booths and ton of playable games in San Diego right now. I do want to get over to Comic-Con news if we can. But Biggie, following up on your point, I think Twitter's changed more in the last 6 months to a year than it had previously, like in 3 or 4. I might be simping for Elon, but maybe 3 or 4 years. I don't think I saw that many changes to Twitter. So
no,
that's are you 100% happy? You know, like no. I'm sure he isn't either, especially with the price tag that he paid for it. You know, but again,
that's one of the optimistic points in general, is that like the guy is testing things, he's shipping updates, he's trying new things, and yeah, it takes time. And now he's got, you know, more competition coming in from Meta that he has to figure out how to cope with as well. But I do think that monetizing and moving towards more equitable paradigms that, you know, Web3 and blockchain can help enable is a positive thing. We'll see how decentralized it goes. We'll see. I don't know, man. I do think that's the other interesting thing that we're kind of learning about Reddit is that I wasn't aware of the whole Reddit Gold thing. Apparently they deprecated or like are getting rid of their existing centralized reward system, and there's a lot of people upset because they haven't communicated well around it. Of course, there's people upset, but it does seem like maybe the terms of service update to allow native ERC20 tokens to be properly traded might be part of moving towards a more decentralized reward system, which I think is probably positive in the long run for people, because, you know, as much as this moment of, you know, betrayal, getting rid of the Reddit gold that people might have been hoarding, as much as this might piss off some people and even create some origin stories for some new decentralization maxis, it's probably good in the long run.
Yeah, interested in people's takes here on Twitter, potentially, you know, releasing some monetization features that's already been happening. But I think Spaces as well is going to do pretty well competing with this. Like, it makes me think of leaning more into that, especially on something like a interview podcast, for example, like the Wild Wild Web podcast is Spotify right now. Maybe doing it on Twitter makes more sense. You know, maybe that's, or maybe at the same time, you know, some kind of combination. But if you're going to have some, you know, type of monetization feature on Twitter, maybe that's the move. So it's all these different questions that arise. Elon does a great job of doing that.
And I'm surprised this caught on, like, got so much attention now, because like NFT God's been talking about that. Like, that's been his thesis for a while now. I guess maybe it's because of the Reddit moon thing and everything that it really struck a nerve this time around. I don't know. It's strange how people sometimes react to something.
Yeah, so let's get into the Reddit piece here. I do want to kind of cover off on the market as a whole right now. It's kind of slow. That market sentiment meter on NFT Go is like absolutely frozen in place there at like 16, 17. So it's a slow day, and you know, NFTs are getting jacked up a little bit, at least the incumbent ones. But yeah, let's touch on this Reddit piece. So of course, you know, yesterday's news was Reddit came out, terms of service changed, allows ERC20s to be tradable outside the platform. I think they're even doing some native functions with allowing people to trade it within the app. Huge piece of news. It kind of goes along with Twitter's monetization, honestly, because this is just another form that Twitter can try to or Reddit can try to monetize. So I think it's, you know, a parallel combo. Biggie, did you hear the news? Because we and GIF touched on this heavily yesterday, but did you get a chance to see the terms of service switch?
No, I did not get a chance to see the terms of service switch. Tell me about it.
So the crazy thing is I can't even go to Reddit and like look this up, right? Most of the info is coming from, I think we brought up Bobby Ong yesterday, co-founder of CoinGecko, who like apparently broke the story, like, or it was like the most referenced related to this.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
So Reddit didn't even really like come out and post anything about this. They changed the terms of service, and everyone's reaction is now, you know, hey, what's going on? So there's incumbents that already had these community points, these current members that had community points, and that's the way Reddit has been operating for years and years and years. And literally 48 hours ago, Reddit said, hey, these are going away. We're moving and leaning into digital collectibles, the avatars, and these point systems, or these coins, these community points. So they're moving away from the old system, and overnight made this switch. They said by September, these points are going to be these you know existing gold points, I guess, are going to be need to be used essentially.
If I had to speculate,
goes out to all these whiners, but I just have to say one thing. The Lord giveth and the Lord taketh, and that is why you want some Web fucking 3 in your life, my friends. You know,
exactly.
And too fucking bad, you know, tough titty.
Dude, I really love, though, you know, Q, you brought in the history, the villain origin story of Vitalik Buterin becoming the decentralization maxi. Apparently originated with gaming and World of Warcraft. And apparently it was a similar situation where, he grinded really hard to build up his, wizard, orc, whatever, mage, whatever character it was. And then overnight, unilaterally, Activision Blizzard made some change and basically, took away all of that progress and power that he thought that he had accumulated for himself, and thus began the history of Ethereum. And like, I love that because it's a similar situation here, right? It's like people are learning a hard lesson about centralization in these moments. And so what does that do to create more decentralization maxis? It might actually really create more momentum in the Reddit community for why decentralization matters. You could actually see a lot of this anger saying, hey, this is why I want to own my own digital assets and not rely upon centralized authorities to custody or create something that I really have no ownership or control over. I think that's fascinating. Nothing here is financial advice, but if I had to speculate, I think that what they're doing is they're laying the groundwork, taking the steps that they need to do to totally revamp their rewards and award systems around some kind of decentralized token. And so maybe Moons is it. Maybe in the coming days or weeks they better communicate and roll out this new reward system. And I guess people are speculating that Moons is going to be a big part of that, or at least be a benefactor of whatever this new update is.
Do you think it would have appeased these people much more if they would have told them that these tokens that they're sunsetting would also convert at whatever rate to whatever new reward system?
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
That's the problem, is they haven't provided anything right now. They've just said that they're going away.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
yeah,
some of these.
Go ahead, Biggie.
Go ahead.
I think there's a lag system with that's one thing we still need to figure out. It feels like sometimes I'm kind of like talking over, but it's really just a lag system, I think.
No, to me, it's just like thinking about what we were discussing earlier, right, on social media, and that people already game the system for whatever, for follows, upvotes, and what have you. And I wonder if the approach would be, I mean, I would much prefer the approach that they're taking, right, which is like kind of like resetting the table, as you will, right, like just everybody down to zero, start from scratch again. Like maybe you still have your followers, but whatever tokens or gold you accumulated, you start from zero again, versus potentially rewarding people that might have been farming or botting, right? And then you're stuck with like a really strange dynamic there, that where maybe a bigger percentage of the people that you even foresaw hold a large chunk of this new currency or reward system that you're implementing, right? So, I mean, I agree with the approach that they're taking. It's just, I don't know. It's comical. I've been there. I've lost stuff in my games and other platforms before. Then I understand it's frustrating, but like life goes on. Let's see how they take it. I'm really curious.
Okay, so a couple things to unpack here. One, a huge miss yesterday. This fully has done almost 100, like almost a 2x here overnight. So this is a situation that I probably should have jumped onto. It was sitting around a $4 million market cap. This the Fortnite subreddit token, not the major cryptocurrency subreddit token. So huge miss there. Reddit taking this leap is fucking wild. It's just being like, hey, we're allowing the tokens within our ecosystem to be fully traded. In fact, we're setting up rails to do that. It just flies in the face of all the U.S. regulation that we're seeing. Other than the latest.
I think you were right on the mark when you said they probably saw the XRP thing and reacted accordingly, because what that said, it wasn't like a full win for XRP, right? It didn't say like there's nothing about this that could ever represent a security, but it did differentiate between the token and the raise, right? Like the funding round or how it was launched. versus the token itself and what's done with that token afterwards. And so by nature of differentiating and saying the token itself does not represent a security, because these tokens essentially have just been rewarded out to people for, participating in a community. There was no big raise or funding round. There was no promises of value beyond that. Because of the way that this was done, I think that's why they probably feel more confident taking this step. So that would be my guess. I do think that they were paying attention, and then that XRP ruling probably helped to move, sway their behavior or decision.
Embolden them. Yeah.
Yes.
And I'm curious. Like, I would love to see if Bobby Young is gonna do something like that with candies. I don't know do you guys collect candies still
not on CoinGecko?
CoinGecko.
No.
I'm obsessed. Whenever I land on the page, I can't help myself. It'd be cool if you don't like turn those into shit.
Justin Murray having some hot takes over here as always, saying Starbucks loyalty program did like 10 transactions last month. These aren't Web3 native or blockchain things. They are corporate extractions and VCs being paid back by retailer fraud. We do know that Reddit is going to IPO later this year, and so a lot of the things that they are doing are trying to get them in the best position for that IPO. I would still see moving towards decentralized rewards and awards being a positive for the users, probably. So I don't know, but yeah, the Starbucks thing, I see that as more of a slow burn, because they're not the purpose of Starbucks isn't necessarily to be having a ton of secondary volume on their stamps. That's not really the purpose. It's Web 2.5. So you're right about that. But I don't think that they look at the success metric as hey, how much secondary volume are we having month to month right now?
Yeah. And these are the distinctions that need to be made between projects that are launching and our idea of what the NFT space is, right? I used to think I would want fully decentralized games. I'm not in that camp anymore. It just doesn't make sense with the tech that we have. So I don't need my game to be fully decentralized. The way that heavy metal is set up is not a fully decentralized game, right? The point systems are not, the transactions within the game are not. So the NFT asset you need to hold, and then you can play it in the game, and then you can input ApeCoin into the game. But at that point, everything else is not what you would normally call fully decentralized. So I don't necessarily need that. I kind of have moved away from that line of thinking. Maybe we do have the tech in 10 years, 20 years to be able to do that seamlessly and without all of these kind of barriers, but I don't really need everything in a game. And maybe everything in a game will never be fully decentralized, right? That might not be the optimal way to have a game function. So these are all experiments, to Biggie's point.
Well, they're always, with something as difficult as a game, you're going to have to always have some kind of centralized development and maintenance of that, right? How would you if you were to have a real game, a live service game that people were actually playing and was valuable or interesting for more than a month or two, how would you actually fully decentralize that? I guess you could have a DAO running the development, but even that seems suboptimal to, I don't know, man. Games are so hard, man. I think if there's been one
single asset, yeah.
I think if there's one thing that a lot of people have learned in this space is how difficult it is to create and develop and launch a successful game. Because I think a lot about the hopium of 2021 of people, saying we're gonna start a game with a couple $100,000 or a couple $1 million, and how many of those have panned out, or how many of them ever will. There's I think also on that note, one of the headlines I saw, I think on NFT Evening, was Neopets is exiting. Neopets, yeah, here it is. NFT exit. Neopets cancels. Let me see if I can share this real quick.
Not Neopets.
Yeah, so
God
Neopets
forbid.
cancels game despite crypto investment of 4 mil. So they basically said 4 mil isn't going to do it.
After
So
taking 4 mil.
yeah, the
Are they
highly
giving that
anticipated,
back?
the highly
This is going to be on
anticipated.
Solana, it looks like.
Was it highly anticipated? Yeah, highly anticipated Neopets metaverse suddenly canceled. Now the company's opting to create a non-crypto mobile game named World of Neopets. So they basically said, "Fuck crypto, fuck Web3. We can't do it there." There you go.
All right, Justin's saying Star Atlas did 3.4 million on-chain transactions in 5 days. Hopefully that's good for my bags. I
Justin's
hold
on a roll this morning, man.
Yeah, it's hard to stop that train when it starts. Squash is saying I'm shocked that people are shocked about the security distinction between investment contract and the asset itself. I thought that's how the decision would pan out since 2020. So, good call there.
That's also what Representative Tom Emmer up there, shout out Tom Emmer, doing the Lord's work on in Washington. That's what he's been fighting for too, right? So I don't know that everybody was shocked. I just didn't know how it would go, but I was rooting for that, you know. But
yeah, so some of the games that are at Comic-Con we can definitely pull up. I'd love to get to that. Oh, Solana gaming event. Oh, so this is happening alongside Comic-Con. Interesting.
Yeah, Justin called this out, I think yesterday or Monday, that there is like a Solana gaming get-together event happening.
All right, some quick hits before we hop into the bag check and take a look at the broader markets. Then we can definitely look at some of those games. All right, I've been standing for Mr. Kennedy Jr. here for the last month or two, and this came out yesterday. That presidential candidate is going to announce plans to back the U.S. dollar with Bitcoin if elected. Listen, man, this man is doing what he can do to follow in his uncle and father's footsteps. And I don't mean to be super morbid, but you want to talk about people that don't want that to happen? Like that.
Yeah, well, it's
not only he should add he's going to legalize weed and psychedelics along with this, and then he really got a shot, you know.
Yeah, I mean, look, I didn't want to really get into it, but the other thing that was like a story about him recently was his comments about COVID. I don't know if y'all saw that.
Oh, he is an extreme anti-vaxxer. He's an extreme anti-vaxxer.
It's not just that, man. The way that he positioned COVID was kind of anti-Semitic, which wasn't great.
So that actually, I saw the news headlines, and you know, I guess this is only going to get worse and worse as we get it. They basically took his headline and basically said that like the COVID-19 vaccine was like targeted, or COVID was man-made biological weapon that targeted Jews specifically. And
no, it was
exactly
targeting people other than, which makes it seem like it was a Jewish master plan. That's the anti-Semitism, is that it gives people reasons to be like, fuck,
The actual quote was that like the Caucasians and African Americans, or just like Africans in general, were targeted disproportionately, and they kind of used like the most ridiculous headline they could find, which is what they're gonna do.
So I don't know, that stuff's a little weird, but other than that, I've been kind of backing him too. I think he's got at least more innovative thoughts. I didn't realize he was that old too. He's 69. He's gonna be 70 also, man. I'm like, can we find some better candidates that aren't that old, honestly?
All right, last of these like really quick hits. Another one from Watcher Guru. SEC adds BlackRock, Fidelity, and 6 other spot Bitcoin ETF applicants to the Federal Register. Basically, this is the next step in the process of getting the BlackRock ETF either approved or denied. So now we move on, gentlemen, to the next piece.
That Biao Fam NFT is it's going somewhere soon. Yeah, Squashman. I hadn't heard this story though. Squashman saying, not sure if you guys saw or talked about it, but headline from CoinDesk saying NASDAQ has halted plans for crypto custody service due to U.S. regulatory conditions.
Did see that.
That sounds like Neopets leaving. It sounds awful. Sounds horrible. More bearish news.
All right, we're square in the middle of the episode. I'm going to look at the markets really quick. I'm going to try to find that NASDAQ piece before I move on, though, because I guess it's a fair thing to even cover. So NASDAQ postponing plan to launch a crypto custody service in the second quarter due to regulatory environment. Brought to you by the great people over at CoinDesk. I don't know if they're great or not. Probably not. September 2022 said that it was putting together the infrastructure and regulatory approval needed for. Yeah, good luck with that. Clearly not getting any of that. So I don't know what they were thinking of launching that the same year that SBF completely blew up the industry. I guess that must have been early 22. But all right, we will move on into this next piece. And then I promise, Justin, we will get to those 50 plus gaming companies that are at that Solana event. It better be 50.
Better be, Justin. Seriously.
All right, NFT Go bag check. We're going to hop into the bag check really quick. NFT Go is sponsors on today and the rest of the month's episodes of NFT Live. We appreciate y'all so much. Let's get to it. All right, 16 is the sentiment. The coldest it's been here in the NFT Go environment since I can remember.
I think they need a new word. Like, do they have like how low do you have to go to get to like freezing?
That's
like
true.
if we hit
extreme
10,
cold,
does it say freezing?
frost,
Like sub-zero temperatures? Like I need that NFT Go. Make it happen.
Appreciate it. Another feature request. Thank you very much. Blue chip index, ETH. Against ETH, we are slowly rising. I bet if ETH pumps a little bit, NFTs are not going anywhere. But we'll see where this chart goes. But it looks like we did get a bump on at least around about now on the blue chips. ETH or against USD, not doing too hot, but we are above where we started the week at there 7 days ago. Market cap and volume is still very stagnant. Against ETH, the market cap is the lowest it's been in that 7 day period. Let's zoom out to 30, see where we're sitting at. Yeah, so this gives you a good look at where we're sitting, folks. We have had like some, I think, very bullish news and bullish releases, but still feels like it feels like it sputters out. It can only kind of last for so long, and that's kind of where we're sitting here today. It's kind of a waiting game, survival game as well. So there's the 3 month chart against USD. Market cap is the lowest it's been almost to the start of the month, but we're sitting at a pretty low piece here. All right, volume in the last 24 hours, Azuki's taking up the primary spot there. CryptoPunks, Mutants, Opepin, Bored Ape Yacht Club, Azuki's, Punks 2023. Anybody know about Punks 2023?
Another derivative. Let's go. That's what we need.
That is what we need, guys.
That's what we need. Who's still buying these fucking derivatives right now? Apparently not many people, but somebody is. Shout out to the fucking straight up hardcore degens that are still out here fucking trying to flip CryptoPunk derivatives right now.
Last 7 days, Bored Apes, Azuki's, Captains are in there, and DeGods and Pudgy Penguins bringing up the rear on the top 10 in the last 7 days. Yeah, we can check out. It looks like Punks 23 is also on trending right now. Any takes on these trending? I know the garbage bags were related to Cool Cats. Is that what we looked at the other day?
No. Aren't those? That's related to Invisible Friends.
Invisible Friends, yes.
Yeah.
You know who I'm really coming around to, and you were not gonna believe it,
fam.
but Nakamigos.
Sir,
I have
that's my
sipped
safe word.
the freaking conspiracy sleuthing watering hole, and dang it, I'm intrigued, man. I joined into a couple of their spaces like a few days ago, and damn it, like they have a vibe. They have something that I'm like, okay, I'm starting. I'm looking, GIF. So good on you for that, dude. You were on that like day two, right? Like the minute they minted.
Naka is always like the most traded NFT. Like it's in the top 5.
Dude, the volume is ridiculous, you know, like it's insane.
Yeah, you can't sleep on the Nakas.
Nah.
Marty's sleeping on it, and that's fine.
Marty's doing more than sleep.
I was waiting for you.
Marty is gonna FUD anything we talk about, and that's fine.
You come to terms.
It's Marty and then Justin.
Yeah, we love our.
We have our 2 most prolific FUDders on the timeline right now.
They're also our most prolific commenters and chatters in general, so appreciate it.
Yeah, we love you.
Bring the FUD. White FUD day. Honestly, this is nothing. See, I've seen more FUD. What was I gonna say? Yeah, Nakas are great. I think they're going to be doing something interesting long term. They'll be around. The volume is insane. They're probably like getting close to being one of the biggest projects of all time in terms of secondary volume at this point. But
no fucking way.
Are you in their Discord and part of the community, GIF? Or
I need a confirmation on that statement.
Still holding one. Justin, I'm not FUD. I'm deep technical knowledge. Know the difference. We'll call you deep technical FUD.
All right, here we go. So I got one other thing I wanted to bring up. I'm perusing again some of the top collections. I'm steadily getting closer to my Oni purchase, and one thing I want to point out is the unique ownership. I brought this up on GM-Web3. I don't know if you heard it, Biggie, but if you look at this unique ownership here on the right side, Moonbirds is in a fantastic state when it comes to percentage of unique owners. Like 65%. When you're looking at other projects that are close, being, let's see, Bored Apes are at 56, Azuki's at 45, Nakas are at 29, Meebits are at 33, Onis are 45, Renga's at 35. So Moonbirds are in a fantastic spot when it comes to unique ownership. Any takes there?
What's the update on the oddities? When does that start? Doesn't that start soon? The burning?
I think like the first. I think they did make an announcement on the eggs, which is like last night. I think they did it. So like I think sometime today we're gonna see the first eggs starting to hatch. Not sure about the oddities. I think the oddities is gonna be until Friday. Which, by the way, Gif, do you think you're gonna make it out to downtown LA? To the meetup.
I haven't registered.
You missed it. Don't worry, there'll be plenty of opportunities. Got like 6 months of events and meetups and stuff that's going to be going down there. Is really cool.
Is it already happened? Like they already closed it out or whatever? It's too late.
I'm not sure. You could check it out to see if you can get a pass or just fuck. I might even I would show up. I was really looking to see if I could make it out there, but alas, father-in-law's birthday, so can't do that. No, to your point, Q, I mean, I think obviously having unique holders, especially unique holders that have been battle tested, right, going through this type of bear market. Like I recall when the whole mythics and the eggs were coming out, people talking about how people were, when they were sunsetting the whole nesting, the particular mechanism that they were using, because nesting is still a thing and it's still going to be rewarded. But people were speculating that we would see this huge dump, right? And it didn't happen. And it's something that I'm very proud of, because I don't know, like like when you go into your Discord and your communities, right? Like it's really cool as time passes by and you start making friendships and you start making mods with people that like have the same thesis as you or that challenge your thesis, right? Like it's a powerful thing. I mean, to me, it's like one of the biggest value adds that you can get out of NFTs is the community. And I'm not talking about the kumbaya bullshit. I'm talking about like legit network effects of like business contacts and opportunities and alpha, what have you. And I think Proof is proved to be not only highly resilient and loyal, but like a legit community, like people know each other by their names, their first names, like I mean, it's a strength for sure, Q. I'm more intrigued now about what's going to happen with Mythics, because sentiment in the community and from my own personal experience, like, is it all of us that have been there since day one have been like onboarding people, right, that might have missed the boats on Proof or on Moonbirds, or that have gone to come along to some of the gatherings that are like, man, I'd really like to join. This is a phenomenal opportunity to do so, and I know GIF already did. I know you're still waiting, Q. But you know, I have cousins, family members that have jumped on the train as well, and I'm really happy about that. And I can't wait to see what this new chapter, you know, is going to be like for the community. But and how many new holders it's going to add to it. But I think it's a sticky community. Like, I'm not surprised at all that we have those amount of unique holders, and that, you know, it's remained that way, pretty solid. And there's some what do you call them? There's some mechanisms and ideas being, you know, thrown around there of things on what to do with the remaining birds that are being traded on Blur and stuff like that. So you might see some interesting stuff going down the line. But yeah, I think it's one of those things that all these NFTs communities, I mean, the strong ones, you see them doing, right? It's like trying to curate their holders and their communities and onboard people like one by one. It seems boring, right? And it seems like tedious work, but that's really what it's meant to be like, right? Like, I think when you look at punks, it's very much the same thing, right? Like it's not a, you know, one shotgun and you know, you get a whole bunch of new holders. It's like there is some recycling that happens with all of these projects, but down the line, what you really want to do is find those people that really jive with the community and like are really there for the long haul and are looking to contribute and do something big down the line, like long-term games with long-term people. That's my approach when it comes to that.
It's not an end-all be-all by any you know, stretch of the imagination, but the percentage of unique holders is almost double some of these top collections by volume. Like that to me, that's a wild stat. It's extremely bullish for Moonbird's holders, and just it is a signal again that there is a strong community there. GIF, you had
so now let me hit it back to you though, because you've been like, I'm gonna be a Moonbird holder and this, and you have yet to do it, and that's fine. I do that too all the time. I'm kind of in that place right now with Nakamigos. I'm like, fuck, I am gonna have to get one at some point. I'm just waiting. It's not, I don't know. I'm gun shy. What's making you gun shy still, Q?
Oh, by far overall market. I was talking to Gifted this morning.
It's a market thing.
Our thesis on Oniforce, right? Like, because we preached a good word about Oniforce. I had Star Lordy on the Wild Wild Web podcast. Like, just all of these things are positively happening for Oniforce, and yet the floor price is consistently going the wrong way, right? So I don't know if that's an economics thing where there were too many whales that are not holding it for the reason of like collecting a lot of these, and it's more towards flipping and all these different things. But clearly something is not, you know, transitioning well to that floor price. So the question you're asking me is why not buy a Moonbird? It's because of all these outside factors, not because of what Moonbirds is doing, but because I'm frankly holding a lot of ETH that I don't want to get rid of.
There's no liquidity coming into NFTs. Liquidity continues to leave NFTs. That's the thing right now. Like, again, I don't see positive movement in NFTs, like any of these big collections. And I want to kind of separate out like NFT art. You know, people are still minting and collecting like things like Prohibition. Like, people are getting excited about certain things here and there, and there will be some exceptions, of course, where people will still try and mint things. But by and large, like most of these big collections and floors, I don't think are going to return or go back up or have renewed interest until we see the market come back. Like, until Bitcoin and ETH pump again, get close to all-time highs, until there's another altcoin season. I just don't like. This is, to me, like, this is the most dead that NFTs have been. Like, we've joked around in the past that like NFTs were dead when everybody, you know, like the first time there was like FUD or something happened. Everybody's like, NFTs are dead, and like it was always a joke. But like to me, right now, like we've been through several NFTs are dead cycles, and we still haven't gotten to a point where the crypto market and the macros have shifted in our favor, and so they're the deadest that they've been. They're actually like things feel actually pretty dead, other than again like things like art doing well, or I don't know. I just don't see liquidity coming back in right now.
So GIF and Biggie, definitely extrapolate if you got something there. But you had mentioned about Star-Lord tweeting the PFP reach, right, and kind of improving the PFP reach of at least Oni Force. So looking at some of these PFP percentages as well, it's good.
Justin's making an interesting point. Maybe like we are biased towards Ethereum. So Ethereum specifically feels very dead right now, compared to where it's been. And some of that liquidity may indeed be over in ordinals as well. It might be on Solana. There might be other places that are not as dead as Ethereum are. But I would still argue that by and large, like there's liquidity is struggling everywhere, I would say. But yeah, maybe there's other places that we're less focused that are doing better right now.
Temporarily doing better, and I'm not saying that they're not going to continue to do better, but I think to me that's my issue with Solana and ordinals right now, is that they're highly speculative, whereas in Ethereum, I think, like you said, GIF, when it comes to art and blue chips, like there's stuff that you can there's value plays even in the art blocks ecosystem or what have you, that you can make, that you can sleep pretty comfortably, that in a couple of months, a year, you're going to be up, you're going to be able to make your money back. Same with certain projects, right, where you already have some like tangibles, some deliverables. You can see the teams building, and you can see the trajectory of the community holding. I mean, definitely with ordinals, I don't see that. It's still too early, and I have my own thesis when it comes to like Bitcoin functionality. I don't believe ordinals is going to be it. I think it's L2s, like stacks. And with Solana, I mean, Justin, man, I still hold my Solana NFTs, and I love what they're attempting. I do not declare the chain dead by any means whatsoever. But after the big hit that it took last year, like you can understand why a lot of people are staying away at the moment, right? Like you can understand why people are gun shy in that ecosystem. And regardless, like there's communities there that are super strong. They have staying power. I'm still keeping an eye on certain things that I'm interested in, but I feel a lot safer in other chains at the moment, either holding just token itself like Ethereum or Bitcoin, or and if it comes to NFTs, yeah, I'm a lot more comfortable partaking in the EVM chains, the L2s, stuff like that.
Oh my god, I love this combo.
Yeah,
Marty declaring everything dead.
I honestly, I thought that Marty needed a vacation 6 months ago, and I've never thought that more than this moment. Look, Ethereum communities have been extremely hard hit right now too. You're looking at some, like we're mentioning Moonbirds. Like Moonbirds is doing well in all of these metrics, right? Like take a look at that. PFPs per NFT. 63%, probably one of the highest other than Bored Ape Yacht Club. Like those are extremely good metrics. Right now, I would agree with you, Biggie. Like if you're looking for a place that's not as risky, it's definitely Ethereum. But if you're looking at a place to maybe do a little bit more action, it's these smaller
risk
chains.
reward.
It's these smaller chains, 100%. We just showed you Arbitrum. Like that's a smaller chain. I guarantee the volume is nowhere near what it is, but you can make returns.
I'm curious. Justin's very fixated. What? Wait, what was that?
Beetlejuice is dead, but go ahead.
Oh, Justin's very fixated on wash trading, which we have been too. I do think wash trading is very important to try and understand and measure. I'm curious how wash trading is measured on Bitcoin ordinals right now, because my opinion, and part of the reason why I haven't jumped in over there on a lot of stuff is that it feels like there's a lot of hype, there's a lot of nonsense, a lot of FOMOing people into bullshit copy pastas, poorly designed projects. There's a lot, in my opinion, a lot of that sort of like influencer, manipulation happening, and probably a lot of wash trading. I would imagine that there's a lot of, he says like there's fraud, or I don't know if he's talking about ordinals specifically, but like I think there's a lot of fraud happening with ordinals, because I know specifically that a lot of those projects are just copy pasted or stolen art too. So I'd be curious to know if there's a way to actually track any of that right now and do that well. I know tracking wash trading is already not that easy on a lot of other chains, but even having Mark, who I think is a much bigger brain than us, or at least me, on Bitcoin and ordinals, he's not buying ordinals. He said, I don't trust it. I think that all of the rare sats shit that they're feeding people over there is bullshit. So I trust his opinion, and that resonates with how I feel about a lot of what I've seen. Like I've hopped into some of those ordinals rooms, and like all art is stolen is a like really reductive way to look at art. Not all art is stolen. There's a lot of things that are, referential or taken in different ways. I do get your point. I'm familiar with the saying that, artists steal and all those different cliches, but there's a difference between just taking somebody's art, copy pasting it or flipping it around and selling it as an original piece versus actually putting time and effort into creating something new. These are very different things. So
let's be clear that if there's a lot of wash trading in a particular chain and there's botting happening, the reason is because there's liquidity there, right? And to your point made here, Justin, about like Solana having larger communities, larger doesn't necessarily mean better, right? Like I want to see relevant names, people that I might follow or know. I want to see strong communities, loyal communities. And what does it say when like the biggest NFT project from Solana bailed on that chain? I'm sorry, it's just not a look good for your average NFT trader that doesn't know as much as you may, right? But when you say larger communities in Solana, it's like I'd ask you, because you don't seem to participate a lot in Ethereum communities. Are you part of Ethereum communities? Have you joined any particular projects? Did you leave really quick and never turn back? I don't know. It just seems like a lot of blanket statements thrown around, man. I respect you, but I would love a little more meat in the bone, brother. That's all I'm just saying. I'm all for like discussing the differences in chains and stuff, but it just doesn't make sense.
I think at
like
some point we're like
there.
bashing our head into a wall with some of these conversations. So I definitely don't want to like fixate and get into like an argumentative convo for 30 minutes. I'll do it for 10, but I'm not going to do it for 30 minutes.
We did look at and feature Mad Lads and Claynosaurs recently when we were looking at projects that were still bullish. So I think we've given enough credence to the idea that Solana still has a viable ecosystem and that there will always be people there. So like,
also, we looked for the information on CryptoSlam related to the wash trading. So I don't know if you actually were able to contact them and they elaborated on what this means, but we, again, looked at the information here that's saying wash trading for the last 7 days is 57 million, and that doesn't line up with what NFT Go, another platform that we use for data analytics, shows. And so what we're looking for is more clear information as to what they're talking about wash trading being. So again, we're kind of back at that same convo that we had. So I'm going to move us on here to Solana. We had a couple different things that we wanted to bring up, right? We had the PlayGG event. So I could pull this up and look at the specific. I mean, there's tons of info out there on what's happening out in San Diego, I'm guessing right now. So let's see if we can hop into some of these videos. So let me make sure I got audio here.
This is cool.
So obviously there's going to be a lot. It looks like a Rory's here as well. That's a pretty cool project there that I was involved in very early on.
I'm a G2 RLCS. G2 is my team, so that's cool seeing them there.
Honestly, this is where we thought, and we talked about it early with Solana, is that they should just pivot or at least really lean into being a gaming protocol, right? The idea that protocols are just going to be all encapsulating as opposed to, hey, we're really good at DeFi. Like Arbitrum's been a DeFi protocol for the longest time.
That's awesome. So look at that, all that G2 everywhere there. That's fucking dope. Looks like G2 is making a big play on Solana. So you know what? There you go, Justin. Nothing makes me feel better about Solana than having my favorite RLCS team being a partner. Yeah, this looks cool, man. I would definitely like to be there. It looks pretty dope.
I'm questioning the G2 fandom here. I can't believe you're a G2 fan. I thought you would have been like a Team Liquid fan or something.
Why? Why do you assume that?
I don't know. Just like a more popular kind of, because G2 is a European team, right? Too. Aren't they?
There are. I think they may have originally been European, but their RLCS team is NA, is North America. So
got it.
Yeah.
All right, so there's also an article that goes along with this, and then we'll cap out the Solana convo as well. So we got a couple different trailers for one. It seems like Blade Right, Star Atlas has been one. We've had Wagner on the channel, the CEO of Star Atlas, multiple times. We were early investors in Star Atlas. Genopets, so not Neopets, but Genopets.
Oh wow, that's blast from the past.
Aurori, another one that we were early investors in, or at least myself, I was an early investor in. Earth from Another Sun. So, pretty popular here. I don't know where Aurori's at in its progress today. I know it was caught up in the hype cycle with NFTs, just like everything else. And development of these types of games are going to take years. Let's see if Star Atlas has anything. So this is a pretty cool look at Star Atlas. So primarily, if you're not familiar with Star Atlas, they launched, with essentially promises of like a EVE Online or a the name is escaping me right now, but you can kind of see like a space MMO essentially. So they're getting to that point. They're starting to launch, like, it looks like better environments that show off the spaceships. That looks like an Agrica Thripid. I own one of those.
Damn,
awesome. But it looks like. It looks like you can showcase
I love how
all
you
of these.
even know the name.
Oh,
Agritha, what?
Agrica Thripid.
You know all of them? You speak Klingon too?
I know the ones that I own. I will say that. The problem is, like, I've gotten wrecked on every Star Atlas play that I made, and most of the reason, especially Star Atlas, mind you, I bought a lot of these as they came out and as they were launching. Aurori was another one that had a lot of promises made. So I think that they have a spaceship race now.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Looks cool. It's very Star Wars.
Yeah. So I mean, it looks like there's some pretty good developments here with Star Atlas. Hopefully they can continue to build. I mean, those environments in Unreal Engine 5 are really, really exciting. So hopefully they can continue and get to that space MMO level. Parallel is one we brought up multiple times, dude. I'm excited for Parallel just because they're a trading card game. And I think that's easier to pull off, honestly, from a technical standpoint than like saying, hey, we're going to launch, the other side and we'll see you in a year, And I think trading card games easier to pull off from a technical standpoint. So Parallel is one that I'm keeping my eyes on. We won't dive in fully, but they've been releasing like hype trailers and such.
Didn't they release like some avatars recently through OpenSea?
Yeah. Flubber was on here kind of educating us a little bit because I guess he's pretty deep into this right now. But they just released the avatars and had the reveal, so we could check in on that. I think it's Parallel Avatars on OpenSea.
All right, Swerves is saying he had a work call and saw that Marty went on Wheel of Fortune. Did I miss Marty actually going on Wheel of Fortune? Can we pull up that episode?
I can never tell if Marty's serious or not. I feel like he trolls us constantly. So like I kind of just skipped the Wheel of Fortune comment. But hey, if you're actually trying out, I do wish you good luck. I hope you make it. I would love to see that replay. I'm sure it'll be fucking hilarious.
Is he going to wear a CryptoPunk?
Yeah.
costume as he goes. Last bit, Solana Foundation, Polygon lead $30 million fundraise for Web3 firm Cosmic Wire, metaverse creation tools. So both some of the largest protocols here getting involved in this action. So Polygon, Solana, doing a little bit here in the bear.
Yeah, we didn't really touch on.
Do we have any? Do we have any updates on the Solana phone, Justin? You must know.
We should follow up on the Solana phone for sure. Was it Justin that came on GM Web3 and said he's using the phone and he likes it? Somebody came on and said they're actually using the phone and they think it's cool. It might have been Justin. I don't remember though.
All right, Metageist is saying parallel art is top tier, every face unique and a lot of variety. Interesting to see how they make use of ERC 6551s. Nick's saying don't. I would.
Oh, Justin has a Solana phone. Damn it! I wish I was near you, bro. I would totally go.
All right, I see Chiptos that you're sharing here. Guys, we're going to hop out here in like the next 10 minutes. I appreciate y'all tuning in all the way through. Chiptos looks like it has some 3D animations. Is this what's going on?
Dude, they keep building out their characters and they all look fucking phenomenal. They've been showcasing what these characters actually look like when they're rigged up and playable. But just Cam Taylor, who's a regular, on our show, is the artist behind all of these. And the quality is better than most of the shit that you're gonna find anywhere. And again, he's a long time, animator for Electronic Arts, one of the biggest game publishers in the world. So he's just so talented, man. And it's exciting to see, a community driven project, doesn't have a lot of funding, started with us on Clubhouse and continuing to build, and the quality that they are showing is just amazing. So it makes me just excited, to see it and want to shout them out.
Chiptos from back in the day, man. That's another episode I'd love to pull up from the archives. I do have an announcement that Squashman pointed out. A special GM today, as I'm happy that I've joined the team at Yuga Labs. This is Xerox Quit. I don't follow Quit. You follow this guy?
I think I do.
I don't know much about Quit. I've always respected Yuga's vision, desire to push the space forward. I wonder in what role is Quit coming on here, besides
Security,
use JPEGs? Security?
No.
Okay. And ideas.
Well, he might be
my skills and ideas surrounding smart contract development and security.
Yeah.
There we go.
Several lengthy discussions with Yuga about Zero Snipe and Coots before joining. They understand that these projects are of the utmost importance, and TLDR, nothing will change regarding them. Both will continue to grow. All right.
Hell yeah.
Cool. Squash, appreciate it. As always, Yuga adding to the team. I agree with the Ape Fest take as well.
Which Ape Fest take?
He was saying that we need Ape Fest to be in Hong or like overseas, not so US centric.
Yeah. I agree. I think it's super exciting. Of course, Marty's saying it's going to be the nail in the coffin. I don't know why. I don't know why. I think it seems fucking dope. I mean, okay, if all of them have a giant smoke sesh and get arrested, if like literally like 60% of all the Bored Apes get arrested in Hong Kong,
and they have to sell their apes,
that might actually be the nail in the coffin. Yeah.
All right, Easy saying, word up, I'll be hosting the Slingshot DAO AMA in 30 minutes. Send over a link. Actually, I can look up a link and drop it in chat with Easy there. I'll tune into that.
Yeah, and I'm not familiar with NFtopia. I'm guessing it's another conference, but Left Action House, if you want to share more details, interested to learn more. Sounds like he's going to be there, so that's exciting. Hope it's a success.
Yeah, Easy, reach out to me on the interview as well. NFtopia, dude, I thought conference season was done.
It's never done. It slows down a bit during the summer, but it's never done.
Which episode? I can't believe it. I don't believe him.
This guy.
All right, any last takes? We're looking at, I could pull up the market as well. I don't know exactly what the market's doing today. I know ETH was over 1900. Looks like Bitcoin's flirting with 30. It's over and under. Solana's doing extremely well off the XRP news still. Stellar doing well. You guys buying any of this right now? Are you buying any tokens right now?
No, man.
No fungible.
Bitcoin and ETH. That's it.
There you go. What do we got, GIF?
I meant to talk about this on GMO3. It looks like it's actually like some kind of official announcement that's providing a little bit of info around the Reddit stuff. So maybe if you want to hit that TLDR.
Yes, so TLDR.
Yeah, go ahead.
We are reworking how great content and contributions are rewarded on Reddit. As part of this, we made a decision to sunset coins, including community coins for moderators and awards, including medals, premium awards, and community awards, which also impacts some existing Reddit premium perks. Starting today, you will no longer be able to purchase new coins, but all awards and existing coins will continue to be available until September 12th.
Yeah, so this is the deprecation announcement that has people upset because I guess there's not also included like anything given to the people that had all of this. But I do think, what he says there up front, saying we are reworking how great content and contributions are rewarded on Reddit. I think that that's really interesting and what we were speculating around.
All right, this is totally off the cuff, right? But they're saying it's become clear that awards and coins as they exist today need to be rethought and the existing systems sunsetted, rewarding content and contribution as well as something golden. Could we get a Bitcoin rewards here? Is he
something golden? Why would that? You think because Bitcoin is digital gold? Is that,
or it's coloration, or anyways? It's just a little piece. I was looking for Easter eggs there. I'll take my cap off. On a personal note, why are we making these changes? Apparently, there's 50 plus awards available today.
Yeah, we don't have to hit this again. I
mean, it's good, but at least it's words from them.
Yeah, but I think this is all they've shared so far, which is part of the concern. But it seems like this is pretty detailed in general about how they're trying to make changes and update the rewards system.
In the coming months, we'll be sharing more info about a new direction for awarding that allows Redditors to empower one another, create more meaningful ways to reward high.
If any of y'all are super active and good with Reddit, we did start a Web3 Reddit. We have one. We should be more active there. So let us know if you are really into Reddit and want to be our mod, want to help us build the Web3 Reddit subreddit. That would be fucking cool. Maybe that's the way that we launched our token. Through Reddit.
I need to get GIF on Discord, but before I get him on Reddit, I need your activity increase on Discord, sir. A humble request.
Yeah, you're not the only one.
All right, I think we're gonna pop out of here in the next couple minutes. Biggie, any last takes, man? I know it's been a little bit of a slow news week so far to kick off. Heavy metal is gonna be ending tomorrow, so that's a big piece from me. But what's up?
No, man, I'm just pumped about what's going on in the space. It does feel like like the winds are changing. So I can't think of anything particular right now. I'm sure there's some stuff on my calendar that I'm meaning to keep my eye on. You can't do everything, but I'm excited, man. I'm excited about what's to come this next half of the year. I feel like, we may have some bumps and bruises along the way, but I think the page is turned. So I'm really looking forward how these things perform and bullish on NFTs and strong communities, man. 100%.
Love it. GIF, any last takes before we head out?
Dude, I'm just feel blessed to get to hang out with y'all, Biggie, Nifty Q, all of y'all in the chat. Really, really appreciate y'all who keep showing up even in these dark winter days. It's the middle of summer here in LA. It's sun is shining, but it's so cold here in the NFT space some days. And so, just appreciate everybody still showing up. And yeah, man, I like the optimism, Biggie, you're bringing. It does feel like, maybe some pages are turning and there's some momentum heading into the second half of the year. So fingers crossed, we got some brighter days ahead of us. And our vibe, our tribe, as always. Dude. If you haven't smashed the like, y'all, please do. It makes a big difference. We haven't been pestering you during this episode to smash it the whole time. So please go ahead and do that before we wrap up.
Hey, congrats on that mint, by the way, yesterday. Like being one of 100 to get involved in that mint, I'm sure.
Seriously, man, that's insane.
So many people were trying to get after that, by the way. There was a lot of cope on my timeline. Hopefully Opepin will soon be off my timeline as well.
Gotta be fast. I mean, I have to uphold my new pseudonym, my new nickname of Mr. Live Mint. So, had to.
What do you think about Mr. Live Mint, Biggie?
GLM, GDLM, Give Dead Live Mint.
I don't know. I had no idea that some people find the term Sherpa offensive. Is this cultural appropriation? And is everybody offended about everything, or is Sherpa actually a problematic term? Please let me know, because I find it hard to believe that many people are actually upset about that term, but that's what I was told. That's what I was told today.
Nah, let them be.
I don't know, man.
All right, some alpha here. You'll always be the Web3 Sherpa, Gifted. So continue with it. It's just an additional nickname.
Humble Web3 Sherpa.
Sorry. All right. Mr. Compromised Wallet. So Squashman's giving some alpha here. Yeah, good shit, GIF. Remember, deactivate your wallet guard extension for mints with hot wallets. That
Squashman
yesterday.
Yeah, Squashman had some extra steps because of wallet guard. You know what? Practicing safe minting is important, but also may slow you down.
Says the DGen.
Yeah. All right, y'all. See y'all tomorrow. We'll be here, GM Web3 in the morning, NFT Live right after that. Biggie Poppins, Gift Dead. I'm Nifty Q. OVOT.